Waiting on one more player.
Ready? Here we go. All right, we got it.
New month, new year as the Leafs and Islanders decide their season series tonight at UBS Arena on Long Island.
2025 is here, but for these teams, it's both now post-Christmas break. You know, that 3 days seems like almost a week. You have so much going on around. It feels like you've been away from the game for so long, but now the guys are both back into it.
I thought we played with a lot of pace tonight, and it was a hard game. I thought the Islanders were good. I thought Max had an excellent game. Bobby had an excellent game. That line's been good for us. I think they play with a lot of energy. They're working hard together. They're hounding, and there's a huge goal by Bobby on the power play.
They score! Bobby McMann! Back to the point it comes again. To the right wing side, and Wall comes across and makes a big save. First penalty over. Wall with another blocking save.
It's great to get Bobby. He's been on that second unit for a bit now, and he's usually a net front guy, but smart play by OEL. It's great to see Bobby get that one.
Rebound goes! Rocket McMann makes it 2-1 on the power play!
He's got a pretty quick and sneaky release, and it comes off pretty heavy, so it's good to see him get some goals.
This one's going to Bobby.
Yes! Yes!
We're looking forward to a great couple of days. Players said we'd like to do a mentors trip. What I said is there's got to be somebody that's had significant impact in your life, whether it be a player, staff member, coach, whomever. Our players have identified you. You've had a major impact in their life.
Let's soak it in, enjoy it, be a sponge. Let's go, day one. Here we go.
It's been a while. You're looking after the boys still? Oh, yeah. Trying to.
I'm John Tavares' uncle, and I'm also John Tavares. I've been a Leaf fan my entire life, and now being a part of it here for 3 games is amazing. There's brothers, there's cousins, there's uncles, there's friends through hockey, people from different parts of the world.
I was surprised because they had just done 2 dad's trips. I didn't really know that a mentor's trip was a thing or that he would ask me to go. He asked me and then I cried immediately and then I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Of course."
This is the game. We gotta kill pucks at the bottom. Staple these guys into the wall. Use our numbers.
It's been great. I mean, a lot of genuine people, hearing kind of everyone else's connection and their stories together and, what makes everyone's kind of bond unique.
I brought Michael Campoli, who was my roommate in college, and one of my good friends I met playing with the U.S. national team.
Everyone, it seems just like a little bit different, but some really cool people and really good vibes.
It's awesome. There's a really good group of guys. We all kind of clicked pretty quick.
Kept alive by the Leafs at the blue line. Tanev sends it towards the net. Rebound in front, they score! Guess who? Ties the game!
I think at that point, everyone started to kind of warm up to each other, and we realized we were in for kind of a special week. I think everyone was kind of feeling out, testing out the waters in the beginning, and trying to introduce yourself to everyone. It's kind of chaos.
And we will go to overtime tonight. Leafs get it ahead to Matthews. Matthews along with Riley. Riley closes, score!
I didn't really have time to react. I was getting hugged by everybody in that box. All the other mentors were losing their minds, but it was really fun. It was really fun. Everyone, all the guys were so nice, so that game was awesome.
Mo, overtime winner. Yeah!
But we all got people here, so let's enjoy a good trip. Let's get on the road and have some fun.
Highlight for me would be our dinner in Philly. It was really nice. Got to sit with, a lot of the other mentors and my teammates and just enjoy a good meal.
Just enjoyed the company of the people, and the supper was unbelievable last night.
We went to the rink, got to see the practice, got to go in the room, see the players again and stuff like that. It's really, really cool.
Being with this big of a group and seeing, how many pieces go into things, going smooth, the logistical aspect is pretty impressive.
It was cool to travel with my brother, get to spend time with him before a game, spend a meal with him. He's been a big influence on me. He's kind of the big reason as to why I got into hockey, and I follow his footsteps since I was a little kid.
I feel like it gives me a real look into what his days are like. I get to see him in his element, and it's very fun.
Yeah, we got another guy that played 30 years in the NHL, Joe Torre. 30?
We looked up to you.
I've seen guys like Mitch grow up through the junior ranks when I was working in the OHL, and I got to know the guys a little bit here, and we're huge hockey fans, obviously. We're cheering for them, and it's been a great trip.
You animal.
Back to Matthews on the left wing, won't shoot it. Now it goes to Tavares, he'll shoot, and he scores!
Hey, grip, Jenny.
Get on this guy, get on this guy.
Marner on the far half boards to Matthews, scores!
Play, Toad. Take patience, bitch.
It looks like you're going to lose it first. Today, jumps, and then you hit it back. Right to the... I know.
Leafs win the draw. Left wing side, Riley with a wrist shot, scores! Stands tall in the latter stages of the third period to pull out a 3-2 victory for the Maple Leafs and a back-to-back sweeping of the Philadelphia Flyers.
It was awesome to have my sister there. She was always a big supporter and never told me I couldn't. She was always a believer.
I think Connor Timmins, reservation for 8.
It's just really nice to get to know some of the people that Bobby's been spending time with lately.
No appies yet or what? I expect them to be on the table when I get here.
Testing.
Yeah, having Bobby's sister there and then some of the other guys was a nice time, and it's not often you get to be around your buddies and then people that have really impacted them, so it was a good dinner.
I'm really his mentor. I just brought him.
He told me that too.
It was just a regular dinner. We're kind of chirping each other, having fun, enjoying some really good food, and then some good conversation.
Why do you want double protein? Because you don't want me to eat your protein?
Yeah, don't eat my protein.
Okay.
The hockey community, it's a big community, but it's also a small bubble. Everyone knows someone, so there's been a really great opportunity to make a lot of connections through other people that we know on the team. Now it's at the point where we're all just hanging out like old buddies.
I was really proud to have Mike O'Rafferty, my mentor, with me. We've been good friends for a long time. We've worked together before. We live far apart, but he's one of those friendships that, we can talk once a week or every day, or if either of us needs support, I think we're always there for each other.
What would you say the best part of the trip is?
Honestly, I think it's probably the access that they gave to the guys in the room, like for all the mentors to be able to sit in on that meeting right before the Philly game in Toronto. I thought that was something I didn't expect actually going into this trip. Everything was more than I expected. What about you?
Just being able to have somebody that's close to me, be able to kind of see what it's like. Most people don't get to see what a day-to-day is like for us, especially on the road. They just see whatever's on the TV, and that's kind of just usually the final step of the process. There's a lot that goes into it. You know, the travel, the meetings, sort of the grind, and all the good stuff that comes with it as well.
15 years ago when we met, Denver was about to start minor pro hockey, and here we are, you know, with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it seems to me like he's got a big impact on the players, and the coaches seem to really value him. To watch him at his craft and just how comfortable and fluid it went, that was the most impressive thing I saw.
Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, the first of 3 this year between the Maple Leafs and the Hurricanes.
To get a couple wins to start off was huge. Would have liked the last one, but still everybody was so supportive.
This will be my 7th year working for the Leafs and the Marlies. My role would be working with players coming off injury, individual projects, you know, working on the technical skills inside the team tactics. Small group sessions before or after, working with players that maybe aren't in the lineup that night, and anything that players are wanting to work on, basically.
Let's try to get like a little bit of movement rather than totally stationary. Like Caber, you might be coming in and out. Hack, you're moving.
He's very personable, easygoing. He helps with the guys, and I think he's a guy you can chat with and is very easy to talk to.
Yeah, sure, let's go one-on-one, and then 2 new guys come in next puck.
He's been a big part of our success on the ice, a huge part of my development as well.
What I see, if you give me one, like there's guys that are spotters of the puck, you know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if that's your natural way of doing it, let's try to think of getting the puck earlier. You know what I mean?
I think the way that he thinks the game and understands the small details is what's important, and I value that too, because I think the details are what really makes you better and sets you apart from the next guy. And he has a strong focus on how you manipulate defenders and that sort of thing. So it's been really helpful for me, because that's not kind of the offensive side that I need to continue working on.
I'm in here early, part of all the coaches' meetings in the mornings, see what the trends are. I think it's important when you're a skills coach for the team that you have a really good pulse on what's being shown in video, how you can connect that to your skates, what the players are being told, any issues coaches have with players or things that we need to do better as a team. I think it's important you're aware of that and you can kind of pair the skills with what the team's looking to do. I grew up in Fergus, Ontario. It's a small town just a little bit north of Guelph. My dad always had a little 10x10 rink in the backyard that I was always shooting pucks and breaking the neighbor's fence and causing some havoc. I played junior hockey. After that, I played 1 year in Europe, and then I was 6 years sort of bounced between the AHL and the East Coast League. With my skill level and physical attributes, I think I kind of reached as high as I could get playing, and then, yeah, I quickly fell in love with the development side. There's nothing like playing, but I also think that there's nothing like being able to help players and be part of a team. I think that when you finish playing, that's the thing that everybody misses the most. Whether it's good days, bad days, you're sort of in the mix and in the grind, and that really matters to me.
Yeah, I think it's some stuff that we can work on, like on in the O zone. Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
I have a 10-month-old boy, so that's exciting. Makes going on the road maybe a little bit more challenging, but you know, I look forward to when he can kind of know what dad does for work and be able to come and fully experience being around the Leafs and stuff. I can't imagine that as a little guy, so that's something that I cherish and look forward to as he gets older.
One of my first memories was when I was 4, my dad told me I wasn't going to be able to play organized hockey because he had to be at least 5 to play. So that was really, really disheartening for me that I wasn't going to be in that year. Early on, I knew right away that I loved hockey, loved playing mini sticks, stuff like that.
We didn't watch a lot of hockey at home, but he could skate immediately. I think he was 2.
Right before junior, I was trying to decide whether I wanted to go major junior, play in the WHL, or try and play junior A and get a scholarship. And I chose at the last minute, right before the WHL camp, that I wanted to go get a scholarship. And luckily, I was able to get one at Colgate and spent 4 years there. And then out of Colgate, signed a 2-year deal with the Marlies. Just thought it was the right decision for me, for my development.
And the shot, he scores! His first in the American Hockey League!
It seemed like every single time it was like he would get himself to a place where it was like, well, this is still possible. Every time there was a little setback, he would just kick it up to the next gear and put more work in, find better ways to take care of himself, better ways to train. Literally never gave up.
I wasn't getting a ton of opportunity with the Marlies and just had to kind of find a way to have an impact every night and try and be in the lineup. And I think that was just when I really started to find my game, and that was the physical side of it, the speed side of it, and trying to make it hard on the other team to play. And then I started to play more minutes, found some success with the Marlies, and then I was able to get an opportunity to sign an NHL contract. And that was a huge thing for me and my parents, my sisters. Those are the first people that I called. That was super exciting and a confirmation that what I was doing was working, and I was just going to continue working, continue grinding, and doing the things that had gotten me to that point. And then eventually I was able to play those first NHL games and try and push through to become a regular.
It was short notice, and Bobby likes to downplay things, and so he phones and says, I'm practicing with the Leafs tomorrow, because he didn't know if he was going to play. Within a day or so, my parents booked a flight, and then I ended up flying standby, and we didn't find out until we were at the airport that he was going to play.
I didn't know until after pregame skate either, and then I didn't think she was even going to be coming, and she was already at the airport on standby.
You dream about it your whole life, and pretty thankful for all the people that helped me along the way, and super happy that I was able to do that.
Did your dad make it eventually?
Yeah, he's here. My mom, my dad, my sister, they made it. So my other sister couldn't make it, but most of the family's here, and I'm sure she was watching at home.
I remember when he scored in Detroit, and we were excited.
Bobby McMann, his first National Hockey League goal in his second game.
This story keeps getting better and better.
We were hugging and cheering and crying, and then it was called back and I could just see his face and everything. But we still got to celebrate that moment, which was so great, because it felt like, even if when he really scores it's on TV, I still had that moment of being able to celebrate in person with my mom and his girlfriend, and it was really fun. Yeah, that moment still exists. He scored in the moment. You know what I mean?
I got a text from a buddy actually, and he says, not many times do you get to score your first goal twice. And I was hoping that was going to be true. It was quite an exhilarating feeling. It's so cool to get that first one, and I was able to get it later on, luckily.
Bobby McMann, his first NHL goal!
Anytime you get your first NHL goal, you deserve it.
Bobby had played a handful of games with the Leafs. It was going well, but I know that it was like he hadn't necessarily established himself in the lineup. And he phoned me and just said, I am not playing tomorrow. And he just, seemed a little defeated. And so I said, don't worry, Bobby, because one good game can change everything. And then the next morning, he phoned me and he said, I just bag skated myself for 2 hours at morning skate today. And then they told me that John Tavares is sick and I'm probably gonna go. And I said, okay, get after it, like have a great game and I'll talk to you later. That night he scored a hat trick. It changed everything.
This guy didn't even know he was playing tonight. Steps up big for us tonight. Bobby, hell of a job, buddy.
Personally, I know how hard it is to be playing in the East Coast League or in the AHL, and you feel miles away from the NHL, and I think it really speaks to probably his upbringing and just how much he does believe in himself. He put in the time in the summer. He's a machine in the gym, and he's spent a lot of time with our development staff, and he's kind of one of those guys that always shows up and is ready to work and has put a lot of trust in our staff. he feels like a real win for our development staff.
It definitely took a bit to feel comfortable. I think I always kind of knew I could play at this level, or felt like I could, and I just wanted the opportunity. But definitely, like, it took 10, 15 games before you really start to feel the speed of the game and start to feel more comfortable.
From somebody who's been watching him play my whole life, I see the Bobby out there that I know.
He's a great guy. I sit next to him on the plane, so yeah, me and him are pretty close, and he means a lot to the team. Obviously, he's a special player. He brings a talent and a work ethic that helps our team on a daily basis.
I think he plays hard in all 3 zones, and off the ice, he's a good thinker. Personally, I really appreciate that in him. He's a great dude.
And the Canadians have opened up a 3-0 lead.
The comeback started with your goal, and it was an interesting one because after the goal, you go pointing to the bench right away, and I believe it was because Matthew Nyes had given you his stick moments before, so take us through it.
Rocket McMann in Montreal gets the Leafs on the board.
It was white tape, I didn't love that. And a little shorter, but then yeah, as soon as I scored, I was like, oh, thanks for the stick, Nyes. I appreciate that.
I think Nyes wants me to use the stick now. A lot of guys are trying to get me to use the white tape. I don't know if I'm making that transition yet, but we'll see. I feel confident in my game now. I found a spot on this team where I can contribute in ways that I find helps win games. And I think that's the biggest thing, is coming down to winning games. And I think I need to continue to be a guy that makes it hard on the other team, plays fast, plays up the ice really quick, and tries to contribute offensively to help his team win.